Welcome back to Resident Evil 3. Jill is here, confident in her disco suit. She's here to dance. I mean, can't really do too much dancing. That's kind of a move, right? Anyway, we're going to be on our way. We're going to reload that. I got some of the enhanced ammo last time. We were building up our ammo, just do some enhanced, because we didn't do it the first time round, so we're doing it now. Jill's on caution. We should probably fix that. So I believe last time we just arrived at the clock tower. We jumped out of the cable car, leaving Carlos to fend for himself, and because of that, we're entering the clock tower from a different direction. Before we start this, though, one thing I wanted to do. Last time, of course, we saw another one of the advertisements of Umbrella's new products. Well, thought we might want to look at these still images of all three of the commercials gotten from the game's file, so we can have a closer look at what exactly Umbrella is selling. Well, one of them is Adravil. It's for quick and fast relief. Apparently it's some sort of cream. It comes in a tube. Recommended by Dr. Bart. If Dr. Bart recommends it, I guess I can't argue with that. The phone call is free, as you can see. Call him up. Who are you calling? I don't know. Hell, I don't know who you're calling. Calling someone, and it's free. And you can see the image in the upper right. It apparently helps when you're getting little explosions on your neck, your upper arm, and your thigh. I don't know if it's only for women. That appears to be what this is for, however. I need to consult with Dr. Bart to see if Adravil is something that maybe could give me quick and fast relief from Umbrella. Then there was Safsprin, which is the common cure. I guess this one is some headache medicine because that skull is getting an explosion by the temple. I guess Safsprin is going to help with that. Can't really make out what exactly it's saying about Safsprin, but we have that nice forest background with Umbrella's logo embossed constantly on it. The phone call for this is also free, by the way. And then finally, there's Aquacure. Escape to ecstasy. Apparently it's wonderful. That woman is saying, feel good. So what remains to be seen, what does Aquacure do? I mean, it doesn't say it relieves pain or anything. It just says it makes you feel good. It's a question. What do you do with Aquacure? You just, if you want, I don't know, some ecstasy, here you go. Take some Aqua. You don't need to have anything wrong with you. You don't need to be in any pain or anything. You just want to, you want to feel good, man. Here's some drugs for you. The phone call is free. Those are the 3 ads that you can get. Jill, however, is very straight edge. She is not on any Umbrella drugs. Let's see, we have this key. We gotta do something with it. I use the clock tower key.
Carlos!
Whew. Well, we both managed to survive. Maybe we can start helping each other again.
Yeah, it's been rough. But we can rest now.
No, we're the only ones left. There's no rest for the wicked. Here's a gift for you.
Thanks. See ya. Alright, I'll pick these up as well. So I get like a little bit of a different scene with Carlos here. Fortunately, Carlos is not mad or anything at Jill jumping out of the cable car, leaving him there. Might as well take this in case you want to do a safety save. Might as well put this away since it's filling up space in the inventory. So what are we doing? Well, we just arrived. You know, I might as well just put away the normal shotgun shells just to get an extra space in there. We just arrived at the clock tower. We have to examine it. We have to go all over, you know, just see what's around, see what's going on. We know what we have to do. We have to make that bell ring so the Umbrella helicopter will come rescue us. Here's the mine thrower. We've seen this. So we know all this. There are music boxes in the corner. One of them goes dud dud. One of them goes oodoo oodoo. No surprises. The clock T key is still here. It's probably nothing important. It's fine. It's nothing important. Got caught on that. Well, it's nothing. Look, everything's fine. Gotta think positively. Alright, so I pointed out last time there's both a cord and a light here. Last time when Nemesis attacked, we used the cord to electrocute him. And by doing that, you knock him out, and you get his item. But you can also use a light, which you wouldn't think would be as effective. Just shine a light in Nemesis's eyes. Why would you want to do that? We'll have a look at that once we come back down. Get rid of this key. Out of here. Go up that ladder. Here we go. So the music box, as I mentioned, it's always going to be oodoo oodoo. It's just the pegs that are in the position, the starting positions might change. But since we know the solution, it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, so that's up. Actually, I meant to keep it up. But many guys say that, I suppose. We can go to next. That's down. And then C, we want that up. And then D has to be up. And then E has to be down. And then D has to be down. No, it has to be up. Because it's not oodoo ood, it's oodoo oodoo. Someone just really wants to make sure that you can't get this key. It wants it to be very secure. They're also very playful, whimsical when it comes to the locks that they came up with. I don't think that one is as whimsical as the company in Resident Evil 2 Remake that decided that they were going to make the sewer locks chess pieces. And make the answers to what keys go with what locks a riddle. Like that was an extremely whimsical company. Let's get out our thing. You know the thing we used to make the thing. That thing. And use it to make enhanced things. I'm getting so much enhanced things. We also have some infinite things here. I used some of that last time. You don't really need to use them, though, considering we're doing all right. We're doing fine. Anyway. So I have the completed Chronos key, so we're going to do that to use it on the thing and get more things. But first, it's this thing. Alright, so Nemesis only has one eye, but light will work against him very well. Use the light. Turn it on. Push! We got him. So we don't get an item by doing that, but we do get rid of him from the area. The tension music is not playing. Spiders. Might as well get out my enhanced handgun. It still takes a few shots. Alright, you remember these things? We're gonna do these things to get the thing. I probably should memorize which solution will be what depending on the middle clock, but I have not. So let's just put them in order, first of all. Let's see if that works. It might. It did not. Alright, let's start switching them around. I wonder if making elaborate puzzles is just a Raccoon City tradition. And that was too much. Because we saw it in the Spencer Mansion. We saw it in the police station. This clock tower seems to be unrelated to any of those, but it's got this. Maybe, like, I don't know, some years ago there was some big contest in Raccoon City. A contest on making the best puzzles. Who could do it? Who could make the most impressive puzzles in their facilities? It was a long time ago. No one remembers it now. But everyone had a lot of fun. No one knew that these elaborate puzzles would get in the way all these years later. Get in the way of people trying to escape a town full of zombies. Who could have predicted that, honestly? There we go. You know, one thing I didn't mention... Got bit. One thing I forgot to mention is that this was the first RE game in which you could go upstairs without just, like, pressing a button and automatically doing it, but you could, like, actually walk up the stairs. Like, I'm gonna switch screens when I do this, so it's not a good example, but, I mean, you can see it right there. I'm, like, freely walking around the stairs, whereas in RE1 and 2, you couldn't do that. You just had to go to the edge of the stairs, press the button, and then you would just automatically walk up. And it seems like a small difference, but it does make the game feel quite different. It does feel like you have more freedom of movement because of something like that. Just realized I also never mentioned that one reason that people, when it comes to Nemesis, a reason people remember Nemesis so much is because he was the first enemy in Resident Evil who could follow you from room to room, which again doesn't seem like a big deal now, especially with, you know, RE2 Remake, in which zombies can certainly do that. as well as Mr. X. But back then, that was just a huge thing. That was like breaking the rules of what enemies in Resident Evil are supposed to do. They're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to just follow you out of the room. Who does this man think he is? Who does this big trench coat wearing man think he is? How dare he? There we go. And you don't realize he can do it until you get to the police station and you have your fight with him there. If you choose to run away and not fight, which of course most people would do, you're going to run away and think you're good, and then he starts chasing you into the next room. And you're like, no, stop this nonsense. I might as well use the freeze. This would be the time to use it. I might as well do the safety save, of course. I'm not gonna use the mine thrower, probably. Not a weapon I've ever really liked. It's funny how quaint it is to think about that. That an enemy being able to follow you into different rooms was such a mind-blowing thing at the time. Oh, by the way, this fight here, this is like the first time you actually have to fight Nemesis. It's finally over.
Down here! It's finally over. Huh? No!
Right, so all those other encounters, you could always run away. You never actually had to fight him until right now. Oh, and also because I jumped out of the cable car, Carlos does not come by to shoot Nemesis and get rid of that rocket launcher. So that's the difference. I have virus status, that's true. I cannot actually see how much health I have. I can probably assume I should use a first aid spray, though. Not unload the normal ammo from the shotgun, that's true. Oh, he gave it to me. He gave me the tentacle. How dare he give me the tentacle? Well, at least we saw it. So that's what happens if he grabs you. If you're low on health, you don't mash the buttons fast enough. He gives it to you. Gives it to you good, like Brad. With his specially designed tentacle delivery system. I guess that technique is imprinted onto Nemesis when they were creating him at Umbrella. That his main style will be to grab with his left hand and then deliver the tentacle with his right. Well, that didn't last long at all. I did notice off the side of my face, side of my eye, corner of my eye, it being mentioned that Nemesis must be an absolute sex machine, which, I mean, yes, you do get that vibe from Nemesis. You do get that feeling. The undeniable sexual energy of Nemesis is there. Hopefully they explore that in the Resident Evil 3 remake. Jill's thinking that Carlos is nice at all, but maybe Jill doesn't want the nice Carlos. Maybe she wants the bad Nemi.
Stars.
Maybe you have the choice of multiple endings in Resident Evil 3 remake. One of the endings is Jill decides that she's going to go off with Nemesis. Well, that clearly didn't work. Do a safety one. Maybe the ending of RE3 remake. Look at all this dodging. Is Carlos having to have a heart-to-heart with Jill, saying, can't she see that Nemesis is bad for her? All her friends are concerned. No one understands. No one understands just the dramatic animalistic appeal of Nemesis. Carlos has to tell Jill, look, just giving you the tentacle is not the basis of a healthy relationship. Look, there's gotta be respect. You gotta have something, I don't know, something in common. What are you gonna talk about every night?
Jill! Jill! Hang in there! What have I done? I'm sorry, Jill. Please, wake up!
Well, someone was a little late.
Jill! Jill!
October 1st, night. I woke up to the sound of falling rain. I can't believe I'm still alive. Carlos?
It looks like our roles have been reversed from when we originally met, huh? Don't worry, Jill. This chapel is safe.
I've been infected by the virus, haven't I?
Hey! Take it easy.
I'm okay. Don't feel any pain. But that's what bothers me. If I can't feel anything, then what does that mean?
Don't give up, Jill. I'll take care of you. Whatever you do, don't let that virus beat you.
They never really mention why the chapel is safe. I mean, no one ever comes in here. But I guess it is. I guess it is protected by the power of God. I guess God canon in Resident Evil. Just in that chapel, though. Just in that chapel. Not anywhere else, though. Not in the rest of the city. That's right. We can just go here and push the bell. Bell needs pushing. It would take tremendous strength to push the bell. So who else could do it but Carlos? Strain these. I hope there was a dramatic recreation of the bell pushing scene in the remake. Carlos straining those muscles to push that bell. Maybe he punches the bell. Just gets fed up with it. He punches it and it shatters into pieces.
There also appears to be a slight fracture in his right arm just below the elbow. However,
I do kind of wonder what Carlos was thinking about. Well, why did he go to the hospital? He couldn't have known there was a vaccine there. Maybe he was just looking for help in general, just trying to find something to do. You just completely, out of just complete luck, just stumbled into there being a vaccine being developed here at the hospital.
Don't shoot! No! Nikolai? You're still alive?
You saw what happened?
What's going on?
I'm one of the supervisors. That's all you need to know.
Wait!
And we never saw Nikolai again. Carlos will always wonder, what did that mean? He's one of the supervisors. Well, I guess we don't need to worry about that. baby worms are in this hospital. This is unsanitary. I can't believe the conditions here. 325 this time, 325, with the shelf being on the far side of the room next to the door. Now, technically, you don't have to go into that room to find out which one of these plates this thing has to go on. You could just guess. It's just that, you know, it's a 1 out of 4 chance of getting it right. And then you would have to know which password is associated with state. I like the idea that the zombies were just waiting there because, you know, in life, they just had the vague memory of when they were alive waiting for the elevator. They didn't know why. They weren't really sure why or how to use it, but they just kind of remembered it. So they were just hanging out there. Who knows how long they were hanging out before someone came by to press the button. I do like how there's no warning that pulling that switch is also going to drain these tanks. But I mean, we need it to turn the power on so we can do the puzzle. Need to set the medium base here. And then, looking into both parts of the vaccine, Carlos combines them to make the T-virus vaccine. I wonder if Jill did not get if she didn't get the vaccine and the virus ran its course, I wonder... Oh, hold on. No one here this time. I wonder if she would have become a zombie, or would she have gotten the good stuff and become like a superhuman? Because, you know, it's most of the time it's like zombie or weird monster. On rare occasion, someone might get superpowers. It's not a good bet. Not a good bet, because very likely you're just gonna get a monster. You're just gonna become a monster, probably. Probably you will not be getting the superpowers. But, you know, there's a slight chance. There's a slight chance. Well, that hunter can stay inside. Amazing how this one bomb blows up this entire building. Maybe it was a bioengineered bomb, specially made by Umbrella. Like, I mean, considering the feats that Umbrella has done in terms of virus research, I guess the idea of being able to make some sort of incredibly powerful bomb is not that big of a stretch. Yellow caution. Alright, so of course Nemesis is going to attack. And last time, Carlos was a big hero and got him to slide into the corner and fought him. But, this time maybe Carlos is, maybe not so brave. Maybe he's not so confident. Maybe he's intimidated by Nemesis's topless body. Nemesis showing off the guns. So we're going to run away from him. And everything's fine. Oh no, here it comes. Let me... I want to run around for a little bit, because I think... Oh, I'm still on yellow caution. Now he's attacking me. I thought I remembered he might go to the door and try to, bang the door open, because he's actually after Jill. Yeah, I think he's doing that now. Yeah, stop that, Nemesis. Look at what he's doing right there. Look at that. Get away from the door, Nemesis. Stop it. Oh, he's just whipping us now. I'm in danger. Alright, we'll go in here. I like how, the texture has the battle damage done to it. Everything's fine, Jill. Pay no attention to the sound outside.
Hey! Are you okay?
Yes. Barely. What's going on?
No way! That monster just doesn't give up!
What? I thought we killed that thing!
No, it's been waiting for you!
He's playing with us. Carlos, do you think that it's unstoppable?
No, I don't think so. I'm sorry, Jill, but I've got to go take care of a few things. Oh, and bad news. Nikolai is still alive.
Nikolai? Are you sure?
Yes. I don't know how, but I do know that he is our enemy. Remember, don't trust him.
All right, he's got to take care of a few things. Hope that goes well for him. So the cutscene here is has a much more desperate tone, as Jill and Carlos is just like, oh my God, Nemesis is still alive. What are we even gonna do? What are we gonna do? As opposed to last time where they were much calmer because Carlos had defeated him. And next, we're gonna go to to Raccoon Park. That's correct. Only Jill can go there, of course, because she has the lockpick. So let's head on out. No problem. No problem. Not a big deal. There, the tense music is done. No tense music. course, since they do not have the infinite magnum now, the rest of the game will not be as easy as it was the last time. Here's some Hunter Gammas now. They can show up, or zombies can show up. So the first part of the game, when you're not fighting Nemesis, is easier because, well, you're not fighting him. You're not using that ammo. You have a lot more ammo to spare. But now, well, the infinite magnum did make things a lot easier for the end. I should pick that up. Well, the enhanced bullets did a good job on that hunter. I tend to think that the Hunter Gammas look maybe a little too cute for hunters. Like they have these adorable little, like big frog heads. Okay, let's see. To drain the fountain, we had to, let's see, do some of this and some of this. Nope, not that. Went to the start button a little early. Jump the gun. This and that and... Nope. And that and this. Alright. Got a lot of stuff here. Got this pipe. Gonna take the pipe. Gunpowder. Gonna take the gunpowder. We've already had the lighter, but I'm gonna get that. And before we get that, we should pull out our reloading thing. I wonder how they get back here normally, because you expect that the Umbrella supervisors wouldn't just be bashing out the fireplace every time they had to come back here. You wouldn't think so, anyway.
I'm quite impressed you've managed to stay alive up until now.
And you seem to be doing a pretty good job of looking out for yourself. How about helping out?
I have no intention of helping you.
Because we're nothing but pawns in all this?
In a manner of speaking, you are. Our employers wanted a detailed analysis of the zombie beings which were created through infection by the T-virus.
You're saying that they deliberately sent in a military unit to be butchered by their creations?
Not exactly. Although the conditions encountered on this operation were extreme, it was an unexpected outcome that the team would be wiped out. We were only required to collect live data from the subjects. Another mutant!
Once again, Umbrella just can't get enough of that combat data. Just give them all of it, all the data. Will they ever use the data for anything? It doesn't matter. Collect the data for the data's sake. Let's save the game, since this is Gravedigger, and this time round I won't be using acid rounds, but rather I'll try to do the thing with the lights, the way that you can kill him without using much ammo, but I better take like any and all health that I have on me. Better just do that. Okay. Alright, so it looks like that's what I got. No, and I got that well. Oh, let's take that. Okay, so basically, to kill Gravedigger, you don't actually have to shoot him. They did give you a way of beating him if you did not have ammo. Or if you had little ammo. You still need a tiny bit. Alright. Out of the way, worm. Okay, so you got this little pool right here. He's biting. He's a bitey boy, but you knew that. You got this little puddle, right? He bit me again. And you have these two like street lights that are next to it. And you don't really have too much room to maneuver in the Gravedigger fight. It's like a corridor. Man, I'm getting hit so much. It's like this little corridor. And you only have like this little wide area right here to run around in. Oh, gonna have to use this. But if the fight takes a while, you'll get a little scene indicating that something's changed with these streetlights. Okay, here it is. So that happens. So what we would want to do... Whoop. Look at this guy. What? Well, I'll try that again. What we would want to do is shoot the streetlights at that point when Gravedigger goes across the pool, like the puddle of water. What? Taking his time. There it is. Right, so that's the special way of killing him with the environment. If you don't have enough ammo to do it another way. Takes a while. So preferably you'd want to have the ammo going in. But there are still babies. Still worm babies to deal with, or just run past, which is a way of dealing with them. There's still a hunter here. Yeah, there is. Well, that went all the way bad. This time I do need to pick up the magnum bullets. Alright, so now we're escaping the park, which does mean that we have an important choice coming up. It's one of the most important choices in the game.
No!
Stars. The choice is whether to push him off or not, but you know how this has been going. I guess we're gonna have to jump.
Stars.
Alright, so he didn't feel like following us. You'd think he's entirely capable of doing it, but he didn't. So now we're down here. So now we're entering the dead factory from a different direction. And that choice affects which ending we get. I don't know why, but it does. Oh yeah, because we came in here, that means we are getting to the water sample puzzle right away. You ever think about how much Resident Evil protagonists walk through sewage? Like, they do it a lot. I think Resident Evil 2 Remake was the first time any of them have actually, actually made note of how disgusting it is. Like, usually no one mentions anything. It's just like it doesn't matter. Alright, you know how this works. We saw it last time. The first thing that you want to do is look at the spots that are empty and clear out anything from A, B, or C that are in the that might be in the empty slots. So A is something in an empty slot. Now it doesn't. So we could try B. B actually doesn't have anything in empty slots. We could try C, which does have something. Still has something. doesn't have anything there anymore. But that can't be right because we can see the second column is supposed to have something in it. Right now, it doesn't have anything in it. Could, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So column 5 is supposed to have 2 blocks, but I have 3 in them, and that cannot be right. So, what if I moved B? Move that around a little bit and see how that turns out. So that can't be right because now column 3 has nothing. So we're still not right. That can't be right because it has something in an empty slot. So that looks like it could be right for the first part of the sequence, but once you get to the second part, it's no longer correct. We could try moving A. See what happens if we do that. And that cannot be right. So at that point, so if that was A, like let's say A was in the right position. So B and C would have to have something in the first column, but nothing in 2 or 3. So is that possible for B and C to be like that? So B could be like that. What about C? Like that wouldn't work for C. Like that could potentially work for the first segment of the first few columns. Then, okay, once you get to column 7, it doesn't work because you have 2 blocks at the top, but A, B, and C have 3 blocks going down. So this cannot be right. What happens if I just keep moving this? Does it look any better? No, that still could not be right. That still could not be right either. So the problem right now is happening, the first problem anyway, is happening in column 7. I'll try moving A again, see if I can get anything that looks any better. So if I had that, it works for the first block, the first section of blocks. Then you get to column 5, where I need 2 blocks, but there's only 1, which is in column C. What if I moved B to fix that? So it was like that. So then, but now column 6 has nothing in it. Still could not be right. So once we get there, we could try moving B again. Still is not coming out right. Again, the first block is, then you get to column 5 and 6. Column 5 we need 2. And that's the problem. I could try moving A and see if we get anything better here. It could potentially be right. So if that was, let's say if that was correct, then what would we need from B and C? Neither B or C has one that is 3 blocks long. Only 2 blocks. do something like that, but then you would have to have a block with row C coming into column 3. Which would look like that. And yeah, that's correct. Alright. Now, I don't have the key with the little card on it right now, so I can't actually apply ultraviolet rays to it. And fresh milk. I cannot do that. Because I do not have the key. I would have to come back later.
Rescuing you is becoming a full-time job.
Thanks, Carlos. I owe you.
Listen closely, Jill. They're going to launch a missile directly into the city as soon as day breaks.
At dawn? But that's only...
I know. We don't have much time left. We have to split up and find a way out of here. And hey, watch out for that traitor Nikolai.
Man, I don't know, Carlos. I don't know if we're on cupping my face level of relationship here. We've only known each other like a couple of hours now. I don't know. It's been an intense couple of hours, sure. We got some drain demos just hanging out, having a good time in the dirty water. Still on fine. Zombies in this room. Not naked zombies. Things are not that bad yet. But, you know, the normal kind.
Nikolai?
Hey, what's this business, Nikolai? What's this nonsense? Shooting a Jill while she's coming around the corner. Just walking away giggling to himself. Just having a chuckle about it. Ah, yes. Then, of course, there is the steam puzzle. Press the buttons to hit the things, to make the things do the things. Many leaky pipes here. These pipes are so leaky. Is there another one? No, turn that off. You just got to come in here with a roll of duct tape and fix all this. You know, considering it's odd, considering how strict Umbrella seems to be, that they would let the state of their factories get so bad. Like, they'll kill someone on sight if they enter the factory. But, I mean, heavens no, they're not going to pay a maintenance man to come in and put some tape on these pipes. I've opened this door, but, you know, this door, the double lock, but before I go in there, let's head back down, since now that I have the key with the little thing on it, so I can irradiate the thing, so I can open up a door later on. You may have noticed that the enemies in some of these rooms are random. Like last time, like in the last playthrough, there were hunters in that room. You never really know what enemies you're gonna get sometimes. Sometimes there just might be zombies hanging around in that pool. So you can have good luck and bad luck. Look at all the flailing legs in the foreground. So much flail. I go in that room, maybe we should just do another save. Never actually used the Magnum for anything. Well, I haven't anyway so far, so might as well take it. Alright, and I have the disc. System disc. Last time we were here, Nikolai showed up, took a few shots at Jill, and then Nemesis killed him. And that is not happening now. He is nowhere to be seen.
Warning. Proceeding with operation in treatment room. Please evacuate immediately. Stars.
So you know how this goes. Nemesis is struggling and he's staggering. He's not doing too well, honestly. His tentacles are falling off. I mean, it happens to all of us as we get older, I know. It's like, things that used to be so easy for him are just kind of hard to do now. And if we wanted to, we could, get ourselves into a corner here and try to get him with the acid. Will that one get him? Yep, that one got him. You start to feel a little bit bad for Nemesis. Yep, and he's just not doing too well these days. And if you don't knock his head off with acid during the fight, then when you kill him, like, his head falls off anyway. I don't know if, presumably, if we did not kill him in the garbage disposal, maybe that would have been it for him. Maybe he would have actually been dead, but he does die in the garbage disposal, so his body does fall into the water with all of this other biomass. All this other stuff. Which I guess ended up being good for him.
Missile attack confirmed. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Alright, well, got rid of Nemesis, but Nikolai is nowhere to be found. But naked zombies, they're here to be found. Right, I wanted to get a thing, didn't I? I don't have the key with me. I should get the key and then get a thing. Here's the key. I probably should save, actually. There's actually a good reason to save it here. Also get rid of all this health so I can carry some stuff. I'll leave 1 health there. Right, this is actually where I wanted to go. Alright, we got the thing. Now we can go. Oh, so many crawly boys. Alright, we got the thing that's going to tell us how far away that missile is.
You're still alive. Such persistence.
Nikolai?
Sorry, but there is no escape from here.
So we can negotiate, or we can return fire. So I think the canon choice is actually to negotiate.
So, you want to get out of here alone? Is that your plan?
I made certain none of the other supervisors survive. Since I'll be the only one who knows what really happened, I'll have more bargaining power when it comes to discussing my bonus.
Then why kill me? I'm not on their payroll.
They want you eliminated for reasons of their own. The amount is modest, but there is a reward to be claimed upon the confirmation of your death. Although I'm sure I'll miss you, it's time to say goodbye. You can either accept death with dignity or die with regret. It's entirely up to you.
Well, that's a problem.
Jill, what happened?
Carlos. Nikolai beat us to the chopper.
I guess this is it then. But I don't want to die in a place like this. This isn't over yet. I'm not giving up, Jill. We still have a chance.
Right, if you remember, in the previous ending, Carlos got to that helicopter, and that's what Carlos and Jill flew away in at the end. But now Nikolai has it, because he's not dead. Nemesis didn't kill him, so he gets away in the helicopter. But it's not that, even though that might be the canon thing, that Nikolai gets away, it's not very satisfying. So why don't we just shut the game down? And why don't we just restart that over? It's not the most satisfying outcome, is it?
Resident Evil.
We will return fire. And that's it for Nikolai.
Jill, what happened?
Carlos, the choppers.
I guess this is it then. But I don't want to die in a place like this. This isn't over yet. I'm not giving up, Jill. We still have a chance.
But what chance do we have?
I am not going to give up.
I'm just gonna stand here and furiously press buttons on this console. Never give up.
Jill, that's it. We've got to find a way out of here, now!
Alright. See ya. Good luck. I guess we'll split up.
Missile attack confirmed. Warning. Missile attack confirmed. Emergency level D. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Well, we know where we have to go. We know where the game ends. But, I mean, the question is, if the helicopter's gone, then what are we even doing? What's going to be waiting for us at the end of the road if there is no helicopter? The layout of this room always seemed very strange to me. Like, here's this cannon, but it's aimed right at this whatever it is here, just this big mass of metal and pipes. I always just thought it was a strange layout. We can't go through this door. Power's going outside. It cannot be unlocked now. I always have that trouble. Try to open my front door. Oh no, the power! It's going outside. I have to wait until the power's been discharged before I can unlock the door. Oh, right, I have to go to the console and turn it on. Then we push the batteries. The order is important.
System. Checking battery. Warning. There is not enough power to activate the system. Battery connected.
how Nemesis has like these little pods on his back or exterior or flesh or organs, whatever it is you want to call it that. It's like you can pop them, just like so you know you're doing some kind of damage here. He also has an exposed brain, like in the small of his back. Seems like that's an odd place for the brain, but there it is. Oh, that was a death. Surprising. I was only on yellow caution, too. Man, look how much red is on her white suit. That suit is ruined. Probably should try to play it a bit safer, maintain more distance. I mean, that should have, like, edged him a little bit. Just give him a little on the edge. Oozing goo everywhere.
System overheating. Enter cooldown mode.
And that unlocked the door. It's a very dramatic moment to just ignore it and evacuate. All right, bye. That's fine. Look, he's gonna die in the blast anyway. It doesn't matter. We're just being precautious. Okay. The elevator was taken by Nikolai, so what's gonna happen now?
Jill!
It's over, Carlos.
What are you talking about? Don't you hear that? There's a second chopper, and it's here to rescue you.
But who is it? Who could possibly be looking for me?
It doesn't matter. We just have to be there when it lands.
You saved us.
I couldn't let you die.
Is it you?
Are you ready to finish this?
It's coming!
Yeah. It's the end.
That's it. Umbrella's going down.
That's right. Umbrella is gone too far this time. They're going down. What does the president have to say about this?
And now we have a rather unfortunate turn of events. It seems that the President and the Federal Council have passed judgment over the civilians of Raccoon City. The President and Federal Council have ruled that the Bacillus Terminate operation is the best course of action for this extreme situation, and have since executed. Based on that fact, Raccoon City has been literally wiped off the map. Current reports have the death toll surpassing the 100,000 mark. Our hearts go out to those poor civilians of Raccoon City.
And now, sports. So that's the other ending to Resident Evil 3. It's very similar to the first one. Jill and Carlos escape from the city on a helicopter, but this time the helicopter was being piloted by Barry Burton, so obviously this is the much better ending. So that's Resident Evil 3. So we saw some alternate choices. The story goes mostly the same way regardless of the choices that you make, whether or not you decide to fight Nemesis or not, or just do things like jump out of various places to get away from your problems, or do you face your problems head on? There's like slightly different cutscenes, but overall, not that different. The main difference really is whether or not Nikolai survives. And I believe it is supposed to be canon that Nikolai did survive. That the canon choice was that he got on the helicopter and he flew away, escaping. But on the bright side, that does mean that Barry coming in on the helicopter is also canon. So there was some replay value to Resident Evil 3. I mean, of course, on the surface, it seems a bit disappointing going from Resident Evil 2 because Resident Evil 2 had the alternate scenarios, Leon A, Claire B, and Claire A, Leon B, but then when you play this, you find that, we get different scenes based on the choices we make, the levels go a bit differently, and then, of course, there was always the option to just fight Nemesis head-on, which the first time you play the game seems kind of unthinkable. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, but then, you play the game for a while and you feel, start to get confident that maybe you can do that. Also, Nikolai, is he, the only Resident Evil villain who survives his game? Most Resident Evil villains die in their game. Dying and coming back to life counts as dying, by the way. That counts as dying. So Wesker died twice. There's another victory scene that we get. Jill's just unbuttoning that blouse and heading out to the bar. Technically Nemesis is the main villain of the game. And Nemesis does indeed die. But Resident Evil 3, I think, holds up very well compared to some other... Well, I wouldn't say compared to some other, but considering it's a PlayStation 1 game, I do think that the game still holds up very well in terms of how it plays. I also said the same thing about Resident Evil 2, that I was surprised at how good the game felt to play after not playing it for many years. So it's the same thing with RE3. It's still a lot of fun to play. And it's short. Like I said, there is replay value, but it is quite a short game. Even the endings you get are not that different. Like Resident Evil 1 was a very short game. It was shorter, but Resident Evil 1, original RE1, had 6 endings. So there was a good deal of replay value there to try to get all of the endings. Even though those endings were basically, how many people escaped on the helicopter? Not that much of a difference between them. But, I mean, technically, they were all different endings. But that's it for Resident Evil 3. And, of course, the remake is coming. So that's why I was playing original RE3. We played the demo, and it seems very promising. Looking forward to that a lot. RE2, original RE2, I remember liking that a lot, and then when I LP'd the game, I still liked it a lot. RE3, I remember not liking it as much, but now as I've been playing it for the LP, I have maybe a higher opinion of it than I did. It's a better game than I seem to remember it being. You know, sometimes you play a game years ago, you haven't played it for a while, then you play it again, you know, maybe the game is better than you thought, or maybe the game is worse than you thought, and that certainly can happen too. But I think that this one does hold up mostly because of how well the game plays, and that it's also a fun challenge to try to deal with Nemesis as it keeps appearing throughout the game. How is the remake gonna go? I'm curious to see exactly how they handle Nemesis. In the demo, the Nemesis encounters seem very scripted. And I kind of wonder if that's going to be the case throughout the entire game or not. Well, who can say? All I can say is that we are done with Biohazard 3 Last Escape, as Jill styled her way through Raccoon City in her sharp disco suit, trying to evade a very pushy man, very pushy leather daddy. There he is right there with the bazooka. And that's Jill's adventure as she returned from RE1. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed the playthrough of Resident Evil 3. And I'll see you for the playthrough of the remake, which is coming out very soon. Have a good night.